113th International Women's Day today, even as the Constitution of Nepal has guaranteed equal rights and representation of women in all the three tiers of the government. The implementation part has been rather feeble, to say the least. Good evening, I'm Prarambha Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. All preparations complete for tomorrow's presidential election. Voting to take place between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Candidates Paudel and Nembang confident of a victory. Despite equal rights ensured by the Constitution, challenges persist in implementation of women's rights. Stakeholders draw attention to continued state apathy against women in the country. Interest rate on loans higher in Nepal in comparison to other countries. Business persons share grievances of setting interest rates on the basis of access. Demand declines adding further fight. And last series of the ICC World Cricket League 2 tournament begins tomorrow in Kathmandu. Hosts Nepal play Papua New Guinea in the first match. Election for the third president of the country is slated for tomorrow. The Presidential and Vice Presidential Election Office has completed all preparations for the presidential poll. Voting for the presidential election is slated from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Parliament building in New Baneshwar. Separate ballot boxes have been arranged for the members of the Federal Parliament and the provincial assemblies. Under the Federal Parliament, members of the House of Representatives and the National Assembly are to use the same ballot box. Two lines have been arranged for men and women. All 550 provincial assembly members of 7 provinces are to use a single ballot box, while 2 queues have been arranged for men and women as well. The election office has also made arrangements for vote counting immediately after the conclusion of the voting process, while the results are to be made public by 7 p.m. According to Chief Election Commissioner Dinesh Thapalia, the newly elected president will be given the certificate of electoral win immediately after the conclusion of the election. Oath of the new president will be administered on March 13 as the term of current president Bidya Devi Vandari expires on the midnight of March 12. Vandari is making preparations to leave the President House in Shital Niwas the same day for her residence in Bhangal Tapali of Budanilkantha municipality. All members of the Federal Parliament and the provincial assemblies who are to vote in the presidential election have arrived in Kathmandu. Now, presidential candidates Ramchandra Paudel and Subhash Chandra Nembang held dialogues with parliamentarians and provincial assembly members throughout the day today. Parties of both the candidates do not have singular majority and are therefore not certain of a victory. Likewise, there is a fear of cross-voting amid absence of the party whip in the presidential election. Including the members of the House of Representatives and the provincial assemblies, the number of voters for tomorrow's presidential election stands at 882. The independent members of the House of Representatives and provincial assemblies carry the vote weight of 1,050. A federal parliamentarian carries the vote weight of 79, while that of the provincial assembly member is 48. Currently, there are 272 members of the House of Representatives with 59 National Assembly members and 550 members of the provincial assemblies. Party whip is not applied in the presidential election, which is also why the two candidates have appealed for votes with all parties and have corresponded with the voters as well. Considering the situation, CPN-UML seems to be alone in the presidential race, while Nepali Congress has the backing of the alliance, including 8 parties. While Rashtriya Prajatantra Party has decided not to vote, Rashtriya Swatantra Party, which has 19 parliamentarians, is to make a decision tomorrow. With the support of the alliance, Ramchandra Paudel of Nepali Congress is aiming to secure a comfortable victory. However, as no whip is applied, UML's Subhash Chandra Nembang is also hopeful to be elected the nation's third president. It was the 113th International Women's Day today. The Constitution of Nepal has ensured equal rights for men and women in all the sectors. However, not all rights ensured by the Constitution have been completely implemented. Now, women representation is yet to be equal to that of men at the government institutions. Despite some improvement in the presence of women in civil service, it is less than 10% in security departments and the local bodies. The Constitution of Nepal has given equal political, social and economic, among other rights, for both men and women. However, there is no equal representation of men and women in the major state departments. In the 275-member House of Representatives, there are only 91 women, of whom only 9 were directly elected, while among the 330 provincial assembly members, the number of directly elected women is only 14. Presence of women in the local levels is even weaker. In 293 municipalities, only 13 have women leadership with 233 deputies. Of the 460 rural municipalities, there are only 12 women chairpersons and 235 deputy chairpersons. Among the total 6,743 ward chairpersons, only 69 are women. Voices are being raised to increase the representation of women by introducing provisions in the Constitution. In addition to the political sphere, representation of women is also low in civil service and security departments. No woman has ever reached the leadership positions of security departments. Among 126,240 civil servants, only 36,556 are women, while of the 79,000 Nepal police, only 7,335 are women. Meanwhile, among the total 37,000 armed police force personnel, 3,249 are women, with only 6,660 women among the 96,000 in the Nepal Army. Despite equal rights ensured in the National Charter for Women, abuse and violence against them has continued. According to the National Women Commission, around 200 incidents of violence against women are reported every year, while cases of domestic violence exceed 1,000. There is need for empowering women to secure and ensure the complete implementation of women's rights and realization of the equal and inclusive society as envisioned by the Constitution. It is also imperative for women to become aware about their rights. The government has introduced various programs with a view to increase women participation in politics as well as to strengthen their financial condition and entrepreneurship. However, failure to implement those plans and policies have hindered women's financial growth. Likewise, women's possession of properties is equally low in Nepal. The number of working women in the country stands at 11,500,000. Only 2.6 million women are employed in the formal sector. 22% of the women from the working group have received job opportunities. Likewise, only 28% of the 923,000 industrial enterprises are owned by women. Those opting for foreign employment include 10% women. Despite the increase in women participation in small and cottage industries, women entrepreneurship has not increased due to lack of possession of property. An optimistic growth could not be witnessed in the financial status of women, as women's rights have been limited to documents and dialogues. Women have been facing problems in registration of the industries as well as identifying market for the goods produced. In our Public Voice segment, we have asked what should be done to promote women entrepreneurship. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
सर्वप्रथम त महिलाहरू आफै जागरुक हुन आवश्यक छ।
स्थानीय सरकारले आफ्नो जिम्मेवारी पूर्ण रूपले लिनुपर्छ।
राज्य र स्थानीय सरकारले सिपमूलक तालिम र उनीहरुको सिप अनुसारको रोजगार उपलब्ध गराउनुपर्छ।
स्थानीय तहले नै अब तालिम दिने, महिलाहरूलाई शिक्षित बनाउने गर्नुपर्छ।
पुरुष प्रधान समाज चाहिँ गम्भीर हुनु पर्यो।
नेपाल सरकारको एकदमै भूमिका रहन्छ।
राज्यले प्रत्येक महिलालाई शिक्षा दिनुपर्छ।
महिलाहरूलाई त्यसमा लगाउने लगानीहरू कसरी उहाँले सरकारले दिन सक्छ त्यो सुनिश्चित गर्नु पर्यो।
विशेष चाहिँ भूमिका म एउटा श्रीमान श्रीमती परिवारमा दिन चाहन्छु।
सरकारले पनि अलिअलि केही ऋण दिँदा पनि अलिकति सहुलियत ब्याजमा दिएर चाहिँ केही गर्न दिएदेखि महिलाहरूले पनि केही गर्न सक्दैन।
तरकारी खेतीको तालिम अथवा अब जे इच्छा अनुसारका तालिमहरू गराउन पर्ने चाहिँ राज्यले हुन्छ।
महिलाहरूलाई बेला बेलामा सिप तथा तालिमहरू दिइराख्नु पर्ला। लगानीको वातावरण बनाइदिन पर्यो।
तालिम दिन पर्यो। अब सिलाइ कटाई
जीविकोपार्जन गराउने तालिमहरू दिएपछि राम्रो हुन्थ्यो।
आफूबाट नै गर्छु भन्ने क्षमता भएर अगाडि बढ्नु भयो भने अनि बल्ल उहाँहरूले चाहिँ गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ। अनि
The demand for goods and services has drastically reduced because of inflation and no change in the revenue of the consumers. With reduction in demand, industries are compelled to pay high interest rates as well. Now, central banks across the world have increased their interest rates to curb the inflation caused by the Russia-Ukraine war. The Central Bank of the United States of America has increased the policy rate from 0.5% a year back to 4.75%. 1 year ago, the average interest rate on loan was 9.44%, which is now increased to 12.79%. The interest rate for businesses and entrepreneurs has increased twofold, up to 16%. Now, business persons and industrialists have begun protest programs because of challenges caused by the high interest rate. Interest rate on loans is between 10 and 12% in India and Bangladesh. While the risks for businesses are considered higher in these two countries, higher interest rates are applied. However, grievances are heard in Nepal regarding high interest rates for them without access. Industrialists pay between 5 and 6% interest rate in the United States of America, 7 to 14% in the United Kingdom, while it is only 2% in Japan. Experts are of the opinion that it is appropriate to compare the interest rate of Nepal to that of India, as most of Nepali exports are for the Indian market. It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Pulse.
Before we ask today's question, let us take a look at the result from yesterday's poll. Yesterday we asked, what should be done to increase women participation in leadership roles? 35% were for A, proper implementation of laws, 19% were for C, B, increase women awareness, and 46% were for C, change in perception. And now here is our today's question. What should be done to face the challenges of the economy? Your options are A, curb unnecessary expenses, B, increase development expenditure, and C, regulate financial institutions. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Welcome back. It is now time for the sports news.
Sports news.
The Nepal leg of the ICC World Cricket League 2 tournament begins tomorrow. Hosts Nepal play Papua New Guinea in the first match of the tournament, to be played at the Tribhuvan University Cricket Grounds in Kantipur. The League 2 tournament concludes following the completion of the series involving Nepal, Papua New Guinea and the United Arab Emirates. While PNG and the UAE are already out of the race to finish among the top 3 for a direct spot in the World Cup Global Qualifiers, Nepal's chances are still alive. Team Nepal have won 7 among the 8 matches of the 2 recent series. Skipper Rohit Paudel has said that the aim of Team Nepal is to give the continuity to the momentum. Nepal coach Monty Desai has said that the team will pay special attention to each game. Meanwhile, Vritya Arvind of the United Arab Emirates has said that playing back-to-back matches and series against the same opponents is of advantage. Having lost the opportunity to secure a direct progress to the global qualifiers, the UAE are aiming to retain their ODI status, while PNG are hoping to have a happy ending to their World Cricket League 2 journey. Nepal are placed 5th in the standings with 32 points from 32 matches. Wins in all remaining matches will see Nepal finish 3rd in the points table and secure a spot in the global qualifiers. All matches of the series will be broadcast live on Kantipur TV HD, Kantipur Cineplex HD and online platforms of Kantipur. Manang Morshangdi Club have secured their first win in the Martyrs Memorial A Division League this season. In the second game week, Manang is past Sankata 1-0. In the match played at the Dashrath Stadium, Sankata appeared relatively weaker in absence of their captain and forward Sunil Bal. Both teams wasted several opportunities before Shahid Zamol found the back of the net for Manang in the second half. Sankata had a late opportunity to equalize, but they actually failed to convert. Now, meanwhile, Sadhabadu Youth Club have secured a 1-0 win over Armed Police Force. Now, first half of the match played at the Chassel ground ended goalless. Sadhabadu were much better in the second half. William Poku scored a wonderful goal in the 56th minute for Sadhabadu. APF created some opportunities but failed to find the back of the net. In another match also played today, Himalayan Sherpas secured their first win of the A Division League as they edged past Nepal Police Club 1-0. Amit Shrestha scored in the additional time after the regulation 90 minutes had ended goalless. It was the second defeat for Nepal Police. Up next is the weather update. So that is all for the moment. Up next is the news in Nepali. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye for now.